Yo, what is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 48 of our Tracksuit to the Top series here with Lewis FC. And today we're in the Capital One Cup second round. So yeah, decided to do this game. We're playing Tottenham. We won our first leg, which I think was against Southend. But before that, and before we get into today's game, we have to look at the fixtures and what's been going on. So last episode we did beat West Brom 2-1. This was a really impressive performance. Great late comeback, worth watching the live com if you missed it. But on the back of this, we then beat Southend 3-2. Not as convincing as I would have liked, but we were playing a second string team with the exception of Nacho, who, as you can see, got the Man of the Match award. He didn't actually score in this game, but he got 2 assists, and we did win, and that was the important thing. Anyway, the next game was a 2-0 win against Swindon, and now you're sat there thinking, Jack, who's that who scored for you? Well, ladies and gentlemen, he has returned. The saviour, the man, Matthew Lewis, is in on loan for the entire year, and this is how he started his debut at the club. First game back at the club. This was his 60th league goal in his time at the club, and it was just incredible. When this went in, I was just like, it's a fairy tale. I was going crazy. It was mind-blowing, but in case you haven't realised, he scored in under a minute on his return to the club, Matthew Lewis. I had a massive beaming smile across my face as he scored here. You know, using that pace of his to good effect, and it was a cracking little finish too. In on his left foot to get into the box, having been involved in the early build-up play, and that was the way he returned to the club in a 2-0 Swindon win. In case you can't tell, I'm quite happy to have him back. But he's improved a lot. He's got a lot stronger since when he was at us. His dribbling still is weak part of his game, but he's improved a lot. And as you can see, 4 goals in 3 league appearances for us already, and that was the first in this 2-0 win against Swindon. Anyway, the next result was actually a 5-5 draw. No, I didn't say it wrong there. It did finish 5-5. It was a mad game. We got a point, I guess, against Cardiff, but you can see both teams created so many chances. Certainly not a defensive masterclass. Lewis Thompson did get injured here, and he had a dead leg, which has kept him out momentarily, but he is not kind of out for a long term. And Nacho got a minor injury, which didn't affect him after the game, so just precautionarily taking him off. So that was a really good result, you know, 5-5, you know, to get a point away against Cardiff isn't too shabby. And then we made it our second game in a row scoring 5 as we beat Birmingham 5-0. All 5 goals coming in the first half, which was kind of mad. The third goal by Nacho is certainly worth showing, however, because it was a cracking finish by him here. But all in all, things are going really well to start this season. This is the last result that we've played, and that was a thunderbolt from 25 yards out by him. But as you can see, things have gone really well. You know, 1 draw, 3 wins in the league, winning the Capital One Cup. Obviously, we have the Capital One Cup again today, the second round. Should be a big game for us. If we could get a good performance here against Tottenham, that would be fantastic. We are at home for it. Obviously, it's quite a big game. The only other big entry to tell you guys about is Joe Judgen, who broke his ankle. He's out for 2 to 3 weeks, which 2 to 3 months, which for a kind of a player you've actually brought in and paid for is a little bit disheartening. However, we've adapted as a result. Johnny Fox has moved into the centre-back position, the loanee from Charlton, and we've moved Bothwick Jackson out wide into the left-back position, which is a position he's not fantastic in, but he's more than adequate of covering there. You know, he's a very good player defensively. Perhaps going forward that's going to let us down a little bit, but he can play there. So looking at the kind of goal scorers so far, Matthew Lewis goes top goal scorer for the season after 3 games. Rolando Aarons has contributed really well, 3 goals and 3 assists for him out on the left-hand side, you know, kicking off from where he kind of left things off last season, I guess, where he had a great year at the club. Nacho as well has done great, as you'd expect. 3 goals for him. He's got 3 assists, 2 did come in the cup game against Southend. And all in all, things are looking pretty darn positive for us. So we are playing Tottenham today. I've done my amateur mistake that I sometimes do of not going to the match day when I hit record, so we're just going to skip forward to that game. But it's looking pretty promising this year. You know, I checked the league odds and I'll show you them just really quickly here. But we are predicted, if I just go to the season preview, we're predicted to finish 6th, which isn't too bad. You can see the key players to look out for us are Aarons and Nacho, which I kind of agree with. Obviously this guy's just incredible for this level, and Aarons has picked off from where he left things off last year, as I already mentioned, which is fantastic because there's always a worry, particularly the step between the League One and the Championship division, that perhaps players aren't going to make that kind of step forward. But our players have certainly done that. You know, we've got a really effective system the players are playing to. We've not changed it from last year. It's grabbing us a load of goals. I mean, 10 goals in our last 2 games kind of highlights that. Defensively, you know, we've not been perfect. You know, that conceding 5 against Cardiff was disappointing, but that was a game where it all went weird. You know, it was one of those games where it was a joke by both teams defensively. To get 5 was pleasing, but to concede 5 was a tad bit worrying. In the game, it was a kind of an entertaining game because we went 2 goals up, we then went 3-2 down, we then went 4-3 up, we then got pegged back to 4-4. I believe we then made it 5-4, and then they got an equaliser late on. I mean, I would show you the goal highlights for that game, but we'd be here for hours watching them all because it was just a game of so many chances. But anyway, we have got Tottenham today. Looking at Tottenham's side, last year they actually finished 11th in the Premier League, which is pretty disappointing. Looking at their team, they've got a few players you'd expect to see there. Kyle Walker's there, Fazio's still at the club, Harry Kane is still there. So they've not changed their squad massively, but it just looks like they just didn't perform last year. They've got quite an old team looking at it. You know, lots of players in their late 20s, early 30s. So perhaps that's a reason for them struggling. Maybe we can capitalise on that. Maybe their players will be feeling their legs a little bit because this is a midweek game. But yeah, we'll see how we get on. Obviously, we've got a few players out. Will Keane has strained his wrist. I don't know if that just happened or if I'd missed that before. Mickelson got a chest injury, which I did just get informed of. But that's not going to impact our team too much, I don't think. You know, we've still got very good players. Jerome Sinclair's almost fully fit, which is good news for him. Quite how him, Lewis Iheanacho and Samuel are going to fit into the team, I'm not entirely sure. But I couldn't not bring Matthew Lewis back on loan. And he's going to start again today for us because he has been playing great. I'm going to make a few changes, I think, just to keep players fresh. In fact, I almost want to bring in Thompson to play defensive mid, but he's not played too many games this year, so he isn't match fit. But I could probably chance him, and Ojo is looking a little bit tired, so that's probably the change I'm going to make. I'm going to risk it and not have a sub-keeper on the bench too. So we'll go with this team. Tariq's not had the best start to the season, although last game he played superbly in the 5-0 win. He got a load of assists, so hopefully he can pick up from where he left off last game for us. Looking at it, Tottenham playing a 4-1-2-1-2. They're playing with Lamela and Mandzukic. Wow, okay, in the final third. They've got a keeper in goal that isn't their first choice keeper, so I can only assume that Lloris has got injured and that they're playing a second choice keeper as a result. So hopefully we can capitalise on that. And hopefully we can test the keeper. That's going to be a big thing, I think. Their keeper being their youngster keeper is going to be an opportunity perhaps to grab some goals and force mistakes out of him. But we've got to focus on our own game primarily. All in all though, very, very happy with how we started the season. Realistically, my aim for this year would be to get the playoff spot, maybe an automatic promotion spot. I think one thing we've really got going in our favour is just the quality of goal scorers we have in our side. Obviously that's a massive benefit to us. We have conceded here immediately against Tottenham, but I feel like playoffs is realistic. I think promotion isn't impossible either. Like, especially off the start we've had to the season. We've not played any of the massive teams yet. Granted, Birmingham were unbeaten when we beat them 5-0 and Cardiff weren't too lower down in the table. But it's kind of... It's getting to the stage where, because we've got so many promotions in a row and because I really feel like the quality of the players we've brought in have improved the side and we have a lot of top championship players, it kind of feels like we should be getting promoted this year. Clearly the bookies think we can. You know, we're really favourites. I must admit, the quality of the players I've been able to bring in throughout this save and the way that I've got players who are capable of playing, you know, a league or two ahead of the league I'm actually in has benefited me a lot as we've advanced through the leagues. You know, players like Rolando Aarons joined us in League One as a Premier League quality player. Matthew Lewis, take a bow, 2-1. But that's certainly benefited us. You know, I've always had players capable of playing a few leagues ahead of us, and that's helped us obviously in the league we're in. But it's meant when we've transitioned up a league, I've not had to kind of reinvent the squad. It's just been a case of making a few minor, you know, signings here and there. But Matthew Lewis grabs a goal. Tottenham did score a second through Mandzukic, which I didn't really draw attention to. But can we make a comeback? We can. Fox scores to make it 2-2. The Fox in the box gets a header. I'm trying to think of something that rhymes with header, but we'll just end it there. But a good goal nevertheless. 2-2. Looking at the stats, we're actually having a little bit more of the play in terms of shots. Possession's fairly 50-50. Obviously, Tottenham got off to a flyer with 2 goals within a space of a minute of each other before 10 minutes had even been played. But we've fought back well here. And looking at it, we're not playing too shabbily. I'm not going to change our system too soon. And we've got another chance here. Tariq whips it in. Mandzukic clears. Can we put in a second ball of quality? We can. Unfortunately, Green, the young goalkeeper, who we definitely need to test today, makes the save. But yeah, I'm optimistic, you could say. Especially the 5-0 win against Birmingham has left me very excited at the prospect of what we can do this year. Iheanacho is really coming into his own. Matthew Lewis obviously banging in goals for us. I'm happy. I'm very optimistic, and defensively we're looking fairly solid as well. You know, players like Sweeney, Borthwick, Jackson, at least in the eyes of my assistant, are leading championship players. And I really feel like we have quality to make a go of this season. Obviously, teams like Southampton, who have been relegated into our division, I'm trying to think of the other teams. Leeds, who have been a yo-yo team in this in this save in terms of going up and down between the Premier League and Championship, have some very good players that I'm going to have to be wary of. But I don't know, I feel like we might not have the best quality overall in the team, in the league, in terms of star players, but all of our players are very solid and they're all very capable of playing a vital part in the system that I want us to play, and a system that served us very well. But anyway, 2-2 here at the moment. This game would go to a second leg. I'm almost tempted just to make a few changes, but I'm actually going to hold off just because we have still got a half an hour left and we're not playing too badly. Looking at the possession for the last 5 minutes, you can see we've really dominated the play, but it's about making something more of that, I guess, as Lamela cuts inside. Harry Kane, Tariq with a nice little interception. I'm glad he passed it back to the keeper and the keeper was comfortable dealing with it, although Harry Kane gets another chance and we didn't deal with the ball. We didn't retain and kind of get back into a solid defensive shape once the initial ball was cleared, and the ball's just found its way back into the box and our defence has just lost its shape completely there. There is no line. Players are appealing for offside. There's no chance it was offside. That's disappointing because we have been the better team in this game in terms of having shots and possession. We've not created enough clear-cut chances, so I'm going to make a little change. I'm going to bring on Shea Ojo to replace Tariq. He's not had the best game of his career. Elsewhere, we've not looked great out wide, so I'm going to bring on Stewart for Casper Dinor, or Nore. It is worth noting that Casper hasn't played great this year, but he has got 2 assists you know, in one game. He did get a Man of the Match award, so it's about him finding some consistency, I guess. But anyway, we're on the attack here. We've got the ball. Aaron's inside. Stewart. Lewis is there. Unfortunately, it's cleared away. We need to be wary of the counter. Sweeney heads it into a weird position. Mandzukic keeps the ball. He cuts inside. Kuaku. Oh, it finds its way into the net. The keeper tried so hard to keep it out, but unfortunately, Harry Kane scores again. I feel sorry for Kuaku there. He just needed the help of a defender to clear it. The initial shot saved. Mandzukic hits it again. He tips onto the post. And then I don't really know what's happened there. I don't really know. Either way, we have conceded. It's disappointing. Obviously, we're playing against Tottenham, who are a Premier League team, so it was never going to be easy this game. And we've really taken the game to them here, and it's been fairly 50-50. We've just not had enough clear-cut opportunities. But we might have a chance here. Stewart hits it. Maybe, just maybe, there is still a chance here. Let's go back to the system I changed to last episode, with the more direct, higher tempo, wider formation. We've got to go for it at this point. We have 8 minutes to try and get a goal. Stewart, though, one of the subs, grabbing a goal. Borthwick Jackson with the throw in. Ball gets switched over, and then Stewart with a nice little finish on his left foot. Keeper should probably do better, but as we've already highlighted, their keeper's not their first choice keeper. Lloris not available for the game. But we are now going to try and chase this game. Hopefully that isn't going to bite us in the backside as Mandzukic misses from a very easy opportunity. Can we get something here, boys? We need an equaliser. Ball tried to be threaded through by Matthew Lewis, but it doesn't find its way to Iheanacho, who will deal with it. And now Spurs on the attack. Walker, options inside Holtby, Kane, Kuaku with the save. He has been keeping them out pretty well this game. Spurs with 7 clear-cut chances. I want to say only 4 goals have been scored from those 7, but really that's just far too many goals to concede anyway. Although we have won the ball here. Iheanacho headed away, and That is all she wrote for that highlight. Chance here though. There is 2 minutes left plus added time. Is there a late sting in the tail, or a Spurs about to kill any hopes of a comeback? I don't know where our keeper's gone there. He's found himself in no man's land. Mandzukic makes it 5. We've chased the game. It hasn't paid off the gamble, but we had to go for it. I'm not sure what our keeper's done here. He's clearly thought he's faster than he is, and in the end he can't quite make the save as it squeezes in off the post. Unfortunate there perhaps to get beaten at the near post. Keeper perhaps has to do a little bit better. But that's going to wrap up this game, unfortunately. 5-3 it's going to finish. I guess one pleasing thing is we did score 3 against Premier League opposition, which isn't necessarily the easiest task, but unfortunately defensively we've just not been at the races today, and Spurs probably run out deserved winners. You know, we had a lot of chances, we had a lot of shots, but really they weren't key, clear chances. You know, there wasn't a killer ball, and that's just down to just a bad day in the office, I guess you could say. So that is going to finish 5-3. Harry Kane with 2, Mandzukic with 3. And yeah, that's going to wrap things up for today's episode, I believe. I'm not sure when the next episode's going to be. I might do a longer break because I was thinking of maybe doing a live con for episode 50 over some bigger games. But we'll see kind of where games kind of fall into a decent running order. So hopefully I'll see you guys on the next video. As always, if you've enjoyed this video, smash the like button, guys. It really does help me out. If you've got any comments with regards to the save, leave them down below. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.